Hey, Perfect Spirit. I'm Sam Shelley, and they call me the Miracle Man. Now, let's create a miracle in your life right here, right now. No time to delay. So, if you're new to my channel, welcome. I talk about getting rid of all that stress, the worries, the fears, maybe even the memories that are keeping you stuck in the past, taking away their power. So, subscribe, like this channel. I do these videos daily. So today I want to talk about, it's nice that I say perfect spirit, but that's a very intellectual exercise, if you will, of knowing, like understanding that you are perfect spirit. It's like very intellectual. But we really need to think about, embodiment, living that way, really knowing ourself as perfect spirit, consciousness, soul. For most, they agree with that, but for them, it's an understanding. It's not actually a direct experience. So when you have that direct experience, then your whole life changes. And I think I've talked about this in the past. I saw Adyashanti speak and with another teacher, another spiritual teacher, but you could see like Adyashanti was the embodiment of perfect spirit. The other teacher knew the theory, understood that he was perfect spirit, but did not live as perfect spirit. Completely different things. To have that direct experience, and maybe this other teacher did have the direct experience, and maybe there's still some work that needs to be done, some head trash that's still getting in the way, and that's it's always a continuous practice of clearing out that head trash that causes the stress, the anxiety, the worry. To be fully embodied is really, deep below that. So you're not so affected by those emotional waves of anger, upset, the belief systems. But it's a process. It's a practice of clearing this out. It's easy, so easy to get lost in the thought stream, the distortions, and forgetting who we truly are and seeing the beauty of life just as it is. Even when there's difficulties, challenges going on in this moment, there's still beauty to be seen here. And the beauty may simply be that you're alive to have this experience, to witness this experience. Because there's no mistakes in the universe. There's also no failure either. Failure is simply feedback to try it a different way. But there are no mistakes. And that's really hard to understand and see, especially with mass murders, mass violence, blowing up buildings, killing lots of people. It's really hard to see that everything's unfolding as it needs to unfold. And that may be a hard concept to understand, that everything needs to unfold to allow the spirit within to grow, to expand, to wake ourselves up to our true nature. But it's just about learning to slow down and just noticing when the mind is catching you, pulling you places you don't want to go. It's just being in peace with this moment, accepting this moment as it is, and being at peace with this moment. Being at peace with this moment doesn't mean you just have to live with it, if you will, but you have to accept it so you can move the direction, so you can change the direction. If you're constantly protesting against this moment, you're getting yourself stuck in the mud. You want to keep life flowing. It's like, yes, I see this experience. I don't like this experience. I acknowledge this experience. Thank you for this experience, but let's move this in a different direction. It's like you can love your neighbor, but doesn't mean you have to live with your neighbor. You don't have to move in. Or and you can also love your neighbor and move away because they were just too much for you to handle. But it's just seeing that we're all trying to do our best in this moment. And we just need to relax, finding that peace within us that's always there. Even when you're going throughout life, there is a peace underneath all the experience, all the noise. There is a peace there. Otherwise, it would just be a buzzsaw of noise. Like if you just listen to a song, music, if there was no gaps between the notes, no space, it would just be a buzzsaw of noise and it wouldn't be music. Well, that's life too. There's a rhythm to it. And in between that rhythm is a space. It's not a constant buzzsaw of noise. It may be a very loud environment, but you can still pick out different sounds, different tones, because there's space there. So it's always walking in spirit of noticing this space, noticing this experience, and not getting so hung up and attached to the experience. Because you're going to have really great experiences and you're going to have really poor experiences. That's life. It's just unfolding as it needs to unfold for our maximum growth. And yes, this is hard to understand at times because we're so conditioned to believe and trust our mind, even though our mind's leading us astray. Your mind will keep you in pain and suffering because that is where it's comfortable. It's a known entity. Diving into that unknown is a scary place for the mind. It doesn't like it. So we simply have to do our best to acknowledge the mind and say, yes, I know you don't like this, but we need to accept it so we can move it onwards, so we can move it forward. Just one thing I'm just noticing here. I just wanted to see something. I don't see anything there. I just hopefully this is. Oh, okay. I was just checking something because sometimes the settings go wrong and the sound isn't quite right. But I'm seeing that all the settings are here and everything is fine today, and it's always fine. There's no mistakes. I just have a preference for good audio and video, the best that I can with the equipment that I have, like the new headset today, one that's more comfortable. But it doesn't mean I don't love the older headset. I simply don't need to use it in my everyday life. There's no hate, there's no animosity toward the other headset. It's just not my preference. So then I move in a different direction. Much like life, we have choices to move in different directions. We don't have to stay there and take it, if you will. And sometimes we may have to sit there and take it and then move onward, depending on the conditions. Like something tragic happened just in front of you, you have to acknowledge and deal with that. You can't really run away from the situation. That may be spiritual bypassing, not really dealing with reality as it is, like the loss of a loved one. You can't run away from that fact, but you have to learn to process and understand that's part of the human journey. The human journey, the body mature, grows up, then it fades away. Then it may get another body, grow up, fade away. That's the spirit, that energy that animates the body. Because this energy never dies, it just changes into different forms, different ways of being. So I'm just here to help you remind you who you are. And hopefully my calm voice will bring you into this moment. Because this is where all your power is. In this moment. Who was it that said, your radio DJ voice is where you want to speak to people, and this radio DJ voice, really, really calm, soothing, to get everyone to come into this moment and not trying to be in a defensive position of the mind that always wants to fight, to battle, to win, to prove that it's right. But in this deeper place, there's a humble confidence that comes that there's nothing to prove, nothing to validate. Just be you, perfect spirit. So have that direct experience. Take some time to disconnect and just sit there and just be with yourself to really know yourself as perfect spirit, to live this experience. All right. Take good care of yourself. I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye for now.